just doing nothing. Look at all of you that have been blessed. Anyone that's been saved, anyone that's been filled with the Spirit, anyone that's been trained. Doing nothing is as bad as doing wrong. Now, I have never preached like this. I've been preaching 50 years. I've never preached like this. My sermons have always been smooth. But something happened to me lately. Here lately, it's even more than this. My wife got a hold of me and got me off my dead center because she didn't want me to give you a whole lot of plans to preach. Then I dusted off my sermon. And then I began to listen to what God's saying to me. Stop waiting until this happens, waiting until that happens, waiting until that happens, waiting until this, wait until you get. Now is the time. I thought about 4 lepers who were sitting outside of Samaria, starving. They couldn't go inside of Samaria because they would be killed as lepers. Plus, there was no food there. They were being besieged by the Syrian army. And the leper says, now look, if we stay here, we're going to die. If we go to those Syrians' camp, all we can do is die, but we might get some food. And so what they did was they decided they were going to go over to Samaria. Go over to the city where the Syrians were. And, when you start doing what God says, God works for you. Don't tell me God can't move and work. God is a master. And God put something in that Syrian army, made them think that they heard the sound of many armies. It was all in their heads. And they ran off from their camp, leaving all their food, all their booty. So when these 4 lepers got there, they found food, water, clothes. And Samaria was besieged. People were starving. People were dying of starvation. And when they got so full they couldn't eat anymore, somebody said, this is not good for us to be like this when we know that our city there is starving to death. It's time for us to go back and tell them there's food. God began to talk to me. Oh, my. I don't want to sound like an old-fashioned preacher, but I have found the Lord. I know this book. I have walked with him for 50 years. And it's time for me to take off my royal robe and go out in the highways and hedges and tell somebody I found a little bread. Can I get an amen? I found what can take us off of drugs and straighten our immorality and make us fathers. Are you hearing me? I found what will make you want to use your talents to help the world. And I must not waste my time trying to be the senior bishop. I may not live till November. And when November comes, I might not even get on the board. But he's not going to ask me, was I on the general board? Did you do what I told you to do? Did you go where I told you to go? Did you say what I told you to say? Did you organize what I told you to organize? The time is now. Now. Help me say now. If I hold my peace, the Lord will raise up somebody who does not have 5 degrees from Temple. He doesn't need a man with 5 degrees. All he needs is a man that open his mouth and preach God's unadulterated word. But I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be left out. It's time. Put your arms around somebody. Say, it's time now. I'm a close, a charge to keep my hand, a God to glorify, a never dying soul to save, and fitted for the sky to serve this present age, my calling to fulfill. Oh, may it all my powers engage to do my master's will. Arm me with jealous care, as in thy sight to live. Oh, thy servant, Lord, prepare a strict account to give. Help me to watch and pray, and on thyself rely, assured if I my trust betray, I shall forever die. I've decided now is the time. I'm not going to wait another month.